Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is for the VIcki Boutin design team, and this week we have been working on project inspired by the November mood board that Yana put together, and I love it. There's paint strokes and texture and color and stencil, and it's just a mixed media heaven in my eyes. So I'm going to use a few of these to create this layout. To start with, I was really drawn to the circles, the stencil circles that you see there in a row, and I decided to pull the ink spill set, the one that comes with the circles that looks like the rim of the cups, just to create a few impressions on a prepped foundation paper. So I added a little bit of gesso to start with to the page, and all I'm doing is I'm adding gesso to just the smallest circle and the little dots that come around it, but I am adding a little bit of texture along the way. So what I'm doing is, once I add the gesso, you're gonna see that I actually lift the knife along the way, and that's just gonna create little peaks and little swirls on the gesso, and it's gonna create great dimension in a little bit when I start adding the watercolor. And the only thing that I'm gonna tell you is just be careful, add the gesso just one way. So if you decide to go from top to bottom just one way, once you have it done, just try to work the peaks just to the center and don't go back, otherwise you're gonna have the gesso seep underneath the stencil and you're gonna lose the shape of the image. So just keep that in mind if you want to do this. Now once I have that done, I'm going to set it aside to dry, and it is going to take a little bit longer to dry because the gesso is not going flat. There's actually, like I said before, there's a little bit of peaks. There's going to be quite a bit of texture on the gesso, so it's going to take a little while to dry, a little bit longer than usual. And gesso dries pretty fast, but in this case it took a little bit longer because I wanted to make sure that everything is dry, and now that it's dry you can see the texture on it. So the next thing that I was drawn to of the mood board, and I'm going to use pretty much everything on the mood board, is the black paint strokes and the drips. So I wanted to work with watercolor. I love working with watercolor. It's one of my favorite things to work with. So I am going to create those drips, and I'm going to start with black because there's a lot of black and I love black, and I think it's actually going to work really good in this layout. Now, I started with one idea in mind, and you're going to see how I'm going to change it. So my idea was to have the drips going down, and you're gonna see all I'm doing is adding a little bit of watercolor, a little bit of water, and I'm gonna lift the page and tap it, and that's just gonna create natural drips. All I'm gonna do is make sure that I have plenty of pigment and a little bit of extra water just to guide, to make sure that there's water dripping down the page. And that's one of the reasons why having a gesso background is going to help you, because the water is going to stay afloat of the paper. It's not going to soak into the paper, so you're going to be able to create the drips. Now I am also creating the drips, not just going, in this case, going to the right, if you're going to say it, or down, but I'm also going to create it going to the left. And like I said, I started with my idea was to create sort of an L design at the top, and I was going to create my black drips and then add the green drips the other way. But as I'm working with this, I'm just like, as I'm working with it, as it happens with all my layers, my designs are changing in my mind already. So all I'm doing is I'm gonna keep adding the drip, but I'm gonna make sure that it kind of forms a triangle, the drips. You're gonna see that I'm gonna make sure that the drips that I'm forming right now don't go that long all the way down the entire length of the paper. I want them, just like I said, I was thinking a triangle. And I'm gonna apologize for the light. It's been really windy in Toronto for the past few days, so the sun and the clouds have been moving. Even though I moved my station away from the window, it's just been really hectic. So I decided to take a break for a little bit and then come back just to make sure that I don't have that bad reflection on the camera. And as you're gonna see, I'm just gonna go ahead and add a few drips. I'm gonna add a few splatters, and you see that line on black. I'm okay with that. If you see the mood board, there's a little drawings of little circles around the black, so I was okay with all those drips and all those little I'm gonna say splatters. Now I'm gonna mix the greens, and for this I'm using watercolor 1011, but it didn't give me that really bright green that I was looking for, so I added a little bit of yellow. I think it's number 6 or 7. I'm gonna double check just to create like a lighter green. And like I said before, my idea at the beginning was to have, literally I was gonna have an L, have the green drips going the opposite way of the black drip. But like I said, as I'm working the layout, I'm thinking that I want the green drips to go the same way as the black ones. So once again, I'm gonna add the watercolor, a little bit of water, and I'm gonna lift up the paper and tap it so that the drips follow the long drips and also go the other way. So I'm gonna actually flip the page along the way. So like I said, I have drips on both sides of the cluster, I'm gonna say, or the big blob of watercolor right on the side. And that's pretty much it. Super simple for the background. And I love the fact that this took care of the drips and also the brush strokes, because the drips that are falling and then you can say the way that are guided are the same on the brush strokes. Now, another thing that I love about the mood board is those big splatters of ink. So all I'm doing is picking up some of the green that I created and like a little bit of water, and then I'm just gonna squish the brush, kind of guide your fingers down the bristles, and you're just gonna create a big splatter of paint on your layout. And you're gonna see right now, I'll show you what was my idea at the beginning, but I changed my mind along the way. And I set it aside to dry. Didn't take long to dry because I'm not adding lots of water to this. Now, the background of this layer, or the picture I'm gonna say in this case, is gonna be made out of scraps. Literally, you see me pull out a whole bunch of scraps. I fussy cut the reed paper. I fussy cut pretty much. I have cut a piece of it, but I'm gonna use quite more. I decided to use a chestnut cut files called stems number 5, just to cut a few leaves in that green tone that I have on the background. And I also pull out some of the leftover vellum that I had colored for the last week's project. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use that image on the mood board that has all the pieces of layer stitched in the middle, and that gave me the idea to use all the scraps to back the picture. And I think that I'm gonna bring a lot of texture. I'm gonna bring extra colors, and it's gonna help me kind of create or continue the messy look that I have going on. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna add quite a bit of vellum. And one of the reasons that I added vellum is because I don't wanna lose the background. Even though I'm gonna cover quite a bit of it, I don't wanna lose it. I think having the translucency of it, and also because this color is gonna help to bring the background and the picture together. So you're gonna see there's a bit of the yellow that I created last week with the stencil brush and the gold glaze. And there's also a little bit of that orange that I created with the art crayons and the stencil brush. Even if you don't know how I did it, just go back to the previous project if you're watching YouTube on my channel, and you see exactly how I created the vellum. And I'm just taking advantage. If you see the mood board, there's quite a bit of craft. There's also peaks of like pink and red, so I'm gonna bring those in a little bit. For now, all I'm doing, like I said, I'm using just strips of paper, and all this paper are scraps that I have. I kind of like to keep them all because you never know. I back a lot of CAD files, so this is a good place to use all your scraps. And I'm loving how this looks like. You're gonna see that I'm gonna actually distress the edges of the papers. I just wanted to bring a little bit of dimension. Now the only thing is, because these are scraps, they were moving around a lot. So my solution was just to staple it together, just to keep it in place. After that, you're gonna see that I'm gonna use a little bit of foam adhesive behind the picture. I wanted to lift it from the background. One, because I am adding distress to the layer, so automatically there's gonna be a little bit of a wave on the papers. And also because I want it to be different in different levels on the layer. I wanted the picture to pop, then the layers, then the background. So like I'm thinking dimension, I'm thinking movement. Now I'm bringing in all those fussy cut flowers that I had from the reed paper. And my idea is, if you see right now, like I told you before, it's like kind of an L, kind of triangular shape. So I'm gonna take advantage of the corners of the background in this case to add my fussy cut flower. And I'm loving this because the flowers, I'm gonna keep them white, but they have like a peach undertone to it that's picking up the color that is in the wreath in the mood board. And I'm loving the softness, and it's adding to, I'm gonna say, kind of harsh background, if you want to call it that way. After that, I'm just gonna bring in those stems just because I want to add the greenness, and also I think it's gonna soften more. It's gonna take away some of the black. Trust me, I'm loving the black anyways. And after that, like I said, I'm just playing with the flowers. I'm gonna add some a little bit of foam adhesive in between the layers, just because I want to create the levels, or you want to call it dimension. And that's pretty much it. And if you're gonna see the picture at close, these pictures of my goddaughter, they were here in the summer to visit us from Ecuador. And this kid is amazing. She's my goddaughter, and I love her, and she's just the joy of our lives. We talk to them pretty much on a regular basis over the beauty of having technology nowadays. You can communicate with like overseas in 2 seconds, and even though she's 2 years old, she can pick up the phone better than probably my mother can do it. So little side note, but as you see, I'm just building the layout. Super simple design. Everything is coming together. I'm loving the layers. I'm loving the flowers. The background, you can still see it through the layers of the stencil. Now the only thing that I realized is, while I'm building this layout is that a little bit of the drips that I created on the top corner, I'm gonna say, of the picture, the top left corner, are hidden. So all I'm gonna do is bring a little bit of extra black just to elongate a little bit of that part. And all I did is add some drips, and I'm gonna move it around just because I don't want it to be a big black blob. In this case, I'm gonna call it. So I'm gonna just move it a little bit, the watercolor, and add a bit of splatters, sorry. And what I'm gonna do is mix a little bit of the green and add actually splatters of green up top. And all I did again is mix the color and squish think of it a milking a cow. It sounds really bad, but that's the way. Just gonna squish from the top to the bottom, the brushes, the bristles, sorry, and the drips gonna form. After that, I'm gonna embellish this, and I'm gonna take a lot of black and white, and also bring the chipboard and the puffy stickers. I picked some puffy stickers that were orange and red just to take that color from the background. Some of the craft chipboard stickers just to bring the craft that I have there. A lot of black and white, and I decided to make my title "Reason to Smile" because if you see the picture, my goddaughter is laughing so freely that it just made us smile all the way. And we went to Niagara Falls, and I took that picture, so I kept it, and it was the best place to document it. Then I'm just gonna add a few stickers, a few lines of journal. I brought in Vicki's rotary stamp from the All the Good Things collection, and I'm just gonna add the stamp. It says "Love this" around the image, and that's it, guys. Super simple. This layer literally took 1 hour to put together, and I love how it turned out. It was a great way to create a layout by being inspired on the mood board. It gave me a lot of starting points. It made it super easy and super fun to put this together. And I hope you actually take some time to look at the mood board. You can find it in the Vicki's community page in Facebook, and come join us. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Take care, guys.